That's pretty much all I can really say about this episode. Um, Hello, everyone. My name is Dale POV. Let's just get right into this overview of episode 17 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable anime. Wow. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, this is not my favorite episode. My favorite episode kind of already happened with Tonio. But, like, this episode on its own, definitely one of the best ones so far. Yes, just like holy crap, like it's not like it was a full out episode of battles or in crazy animation. No, it was like just a really good, really well told story in just in capped in just one episode. It was absolutely great, like the pacing, everything. So, regardless, let me just get straight into the overview that I so much love to do with this particular show. Indeed, um, the episode has no opening. We start off with Koichi encountering Rohan. He's looking at like a town map around there, and he encounters Koichi. They talk a little bit, and explains how weird the map is and how inaccurate it is, and he brings up a like a street in between two stores that's supposed to be mentioned, but it's not. And they're like right in front of it, saying like, "You see here between like these two stores, like why isn't that street over there like on the map?" And he gets a little bit frustrated and he wants to inspect it. So he convinces Koichi to, regardless, go and do that. They walk through the street, and after trying to get out of it, like they understand that they're being put into a loop because they seem to come back to a certain like mailbox with like a little bit of a dog shit like on the side, and they just keep walking back to it no matter what. To which they encounter this girl who's really playful, really young, and they come to the understanding we're like this has to be like a stand user. So as she's coming towards them, like Rohan straight up uses Heaven's Door, which by the way is finally been animated. That was my little bit of like my nitpick in 2 episodes ago with when he was finding Josuke, that Heaven's Door wasn't really like an actual figure. I absolutely loved like the animation for it. Just like I mentioned in my video, like I wanted that like transparent, like just the outlinings of the hat and that stuff. Like absolutely happy with it, and I'm happy that we also get a little bit of an extra explanation to which explains how Heaven's Door originally you had to look at his manga scripts in order for the stand to work, and he goes into it further saying like I guess my stand kind of evolved, which is kind of like a logical ongoing thing, especially with this part seeing Koishi's stand evolving. A really nice explanation that I must have missed, I guess, in the manga, because that was my little complaint in the episode with Rohan. Regardless, Rohan like start. This is a little bit of a comedy part in the episode where Rohan just starts reading everything about her, and it gets a little bit personal, like her sizes, her bust sizes, her weight, and all that stuff. And Koichi points it out on him, like, "Hey, like I don't feel comfortable with you reading that kind of stuff about a 16-year-old girl." So he straight up tells Koichi, "Like, don't worry, she won't attack us. Like I wrote already in her body and her soul that like she can't attack us." She wakes up, she starts talking to them, she starts explaining the situation that she's like she tells them like, "Hey, do you guys want to hear a story?" And she gives this really creepy horror story about this guy and this guy and this girl and this killer and her dog being fucking put on a coat hanger. Really messed up story, really eerie. I absolutely loved how they handled it. Then it is revealed that she was that girl in the story, and Rohan and Koichi just want to get the fuck out. She straight up tells them like, "I know that you guys have stand, and I just feel like I need to tell this to someone." And you can say that this is a little bit of a foreshadowing, but Early in the first season of Jojo, you have Koichi in the school reading about these murder mysteries and speaking like, "Wow, I can't believe that this is happening." And throughout the series, we get a little bit of shots of like this hand and just this female hand being cut off, and this is foreshadowing, of course, for this killer that Raimi is talking about. Without going into any spoilers, of course. If you do want to bring up his name, please put spoiler tags in the comments down below. Raimi tells them that, like, I know you guys have stands. Please, like, if you can just do something about it, because like there are people being killed still. Like, the guy hasn't been caught, and she agrees to show them a way out. And the way out, she explains to them which road they had to take. But the only issue is that they are not allowed to look back. So as both of them, Rohan and Koichi, are walking through the pathway, trying not to look back, Koichi gets this eerie feeling because it feels like someone's breathing on his neck and like right behind him, and it gets really creepy for him. So he hears Raimi saying like, "It's okay, from this point on you can turn back," and he does that. But no, it was like a freaking ghost tricking him, and she was like, "That never happened to me." Like, I don't know why they're doing it to you. And it's a pretty cool animated sequence where you see Koichi first being pulled by hands, and then his stand like echoes being pulled out of him, which is, I absolutely love that little detail. And Rohan's like, "Oh, like the point is just not to look back, right? Like, this is easy." And he just uses Heaven's Door he can legit make him forget that he saw that. So Koichi, like, they're outside. Koichi's still like freaking out with like Heaven's Door open on his face. Great. Raimi's outside the street telling them like, "Listen, like, I'll be waiting for you guys if you guys do decide to do something." We transition to Rohan visiting the grave. He only agreed to look after this killer because he believes that is that it could make for a really interesting manga story. So he investigates the grave, and like I'm guessing the keeper of like all these gravestones, I guess the one who maintains everything, explains to him like, "Yeah, you were pretty young when this happened, but that story, like, he doesn't say it like this, but it comes down to like that story that Raymond was talking about, that like you were actually part of it, like you were a neighbor visiting, and Raimi straight up like threw you out the window so that the killer wouldn't find you." And it's like this really absolutely beautiful touch to the story that I personally love so much. We transition over to Koichi and Koichi and Josuke and Okuyasu talking, and they're like, "Listen, Koichi, calm the fuck down. Like, we believe you, all right? We believe that you saw a ghost." And like this little comedic bit of Okuyasu just like thinking, "Wow, I should have been born 15 years ago. Like, this girl's hot." And she's totally my type. That's what he says. And Koichi, like, saying like we have to do something, but Josuke brings up a very interesting point, which if he did not say it, I would have said it in this video. That, yeah, the reason why Joseph and Jotaro are in Morio is because they're looking for stand users, and unless they know that the killer's a stand user, they're not gonna waste money and like time, especially from the Speedrunning Foundation, to look for a killer while a cop could be doing this. Koichi wants to walk away, very saddened. Josuke pulls him in time because his fucking car was about to crash him. The window rolls fucking down, and we get this very weird, like, this blonde guy, like, just looking a little bit like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" He drives further. There's a hand next to him. The obvious is obvious. Like, this is the killer that we've been talking about. You zoom in as he goes into his house. We zoom out. We see on his door, Kira. Perfect. Like, and I'm just really, really happy about how this episode went, because it stands out as its own standalone story. It gives so much, but let me just go into the 3 points that I enjoy talking about every episode, every overview that I do with every series. First of all, the animation. Animation was most of the time all right. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good most of the time. Pacing perfect, perfectly paced. You got a whole story like this fitted into one episode. You got so much. You got character development here, which leads into the value to the overall plot, which is a character development. Rohan being this being this kind of like gray, selfish asshole in a way you could say, but when shit was going down south, like he straight up went to Koichi and grabbed him when he felt that there was danger. So that selfishness, there is some concern towards the people nearby him, and especially when he finds out that Raimi saved his life, it gives a character development for him to want to do something about this murderer, which if we are to look at his character before this episode, he was pretty much like, again, like a pretty selfish guy. He was thinking of for himself, like he only wanted to help out Raimi because he thought it would make for a good story. um, and no, like now he's like determined, like I have to do something to at least give my thanks. And I guess the last part of the value to the overall plot part is, I guess we get our face shown, Kira, Yoshikage Kira, our murderer, and which seems to be obviously stated that this is going to be our new main villain. So great episode overall. Cannot say much bad about it. Like I'm just really really like, wow, really good episode. Falling into repetition right now. Regardless, my name is DLPOV. If you like this overview, this review, hit that like button down below. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Was the pacing well done? What do you think of Reimi Sugimoto, of our new villain, Yoshikage Kira, who likes to, for some reason, collect women's hands and kill women and girls? Um, what do you think about the interaction between the characters Rohan and Koichi? Because Rohan was introduced as a bit of an asshole in the first two episodes that he was shown, and now you can tell that he has a somewhat a bigger role in this part 4 story. So just tell me all about that. I'm gonna be doing these overviews every week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you are not subscribed. My name is DLPOV, and have a good weekend. Bye.